Hello everybody and happy Video Monday. This is Teshia Maher here with you, and today I want to talk to you guys about parasites. Yep, good times, let me tell you. So what was happening to me is I started to have since the last 8 months, it's been about 8 months now, I've been having fatigue that I couldn't explain. I have been having food cravings for foods that I never crave, nor do I choose to really have in my life. I was having a little bit issues with sleep, waking up weird times in the night. I was also having a lot more anxiety than normal, and things in my life right now are better than ever. So it didn't make sense to me that I would be having this type of a feeling. So I went to my medical doctor and I asked her to please do a parasite test because I've been traveling a lot and I've been, eating some foods that I was suspect of in the first place, etc. She did the test, came back negative. Still in my gut, I felt this instinct that this might be what was going on for me, so I went to my naturopathic doctor. I asked him to do this specific test. It's 4 days long. You collect your stool for 4 days. You ship it off. It gets analyzed and inspected. Anyway, came back that I had a parasite. Nothing serious, but still something that I certainly don't want in my body. Now, before you're creeped out and don't want to watch my videos anymore, please know that they is like the universe of research, that 95% of people or more have parasites at any given time and they don't even know it. So it is possible, I don't want to scare you, but it is possible that some of your symptoms that you cannot explain could be related to something else that's, coexisting with you. So if you had a parasite infection, what are some other symptoms that you might have other than the ones I just listed? So I mentioned cravings, I mentioned fatigue, I mentioned anxiety, I mentioned messed up sleep. Other common things are, I made a little list so I could remember to tell you guys, hormone imbalances, like really weird, crazy PMS when you didn't have it before. A weakened immune system because this is an infection, this is a virus, this is, in your system, and so it's trying to take over. Weakens your immune system for sure. It can cause symptoms of what's called leaky gut. That's a whole other topic, so just Google that if you want to investigate this further. Energy drain, I mentioned that already. Iron deficiency, or in general, nutritional deficiencies, because essentially when you have a parasite, what's happening is everything you eat, it eats. So it's stealing all your shit. Like, you putting in this good nutrition and it's taking it from you. So it's very normal, especially if this goes on too long, for people to develop deficiencies. Weight loss and weight gain are other common symptoms. Skin issues, acne, eczema, psoriasis can be related to parasites. Joint and muscle pain is a common one, as well as teeth grinding. So teeth grinding is basically you're waking up in the night and you can feel that you're like grinding your teeth. All of these things can be related to parasites. So if you think you might have a parasite, or you do some testing and you discover that you do, or in general, if you just want to do a parasite cleanse, because again, that statistic is, sorry to say, pretty promising. The first thing I want to say to you guys is that I suggest people always do a preparatory phase. So before you just jump in to taking these intense herbs, which can be super powerful, you want to first clean up your diet and really basically prepare your liver, because your liver is your number one organ of detoxification, and you want it working optimally as you take this on. So I always suggest people move to a whole foods-based diet, eliminating all processed foods. I always recommend people get off caffeine and alcohol because these weaken the immune system, and you need your immune system strong to fight this thing off. I also suggest people drink lots of water and make sure that they're super hydrated, especially lemon water, which is good for the liver. And I often also suggest that people take some herbs for the liver. My favorite thing to do personally is this product called Swedish Bitters. And Swedish Bitters, you can make your own actually, or you can buy the one that I buy. It's called Maria's Swedish Bitters. This helps to cleanse your liver and increase bile flow. It's very good for your digestion as well, keeps things moving. And bitter foods, parasites hate. So it's a good thing to start with before you jump into like the big stuff. When you go to develop or to figure out what you're going to do on your parasite cleanse, if you go to Google and you write, what should I eat during a parasite cleanse? Or what should I do for a parasite cleanse? As with all things health and nutrition, you are going to get a mess of information that is all contradicting and, confusing. So how do you know what to do? It's very tricky. I mean, the first thing is that if you are vegetarian or vegan, and that's really, really important to you, you're probably not going to want to eat an all animal protein diet while you're doing this, which is what some people do suggest. So the first thing you do is, as all things, you personalize your program to you. So the main thing when it comes to parasites, most people seem to be in agreement with, is that sugar feeds them. And that is especially processed sugar. So you want to cut all refined sugar from your diet. If you're a sugar addict, that's going to be the first step. Just do that alone for a month or so, because that's hard to do. So the first thing is to go off refined sugar, which will be a gift to you in itself. No problem. It'll be tough, but it's going to be good in the long run. So getting off sugar is super important, or keeping sugar out, no matter what type of program you're doing. Processed foods, all of that. So whole foods, whatever parasite diet you try to incorporate, make sure it's focused mostly on, or entirely, on whole foods. Then you can kind of tweak it. So what I'm personally doing, I'm going to tell you right now. The main things I'm doing, tons and tons of greens. Greens, again, are bitter, and parasites don't like them, so I'm eating them. Greens. Coconut oil. It's a natural antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral food. Awesome. Coconut oil, coconut milk, grated coconut. All this stuff is great. I have been doing pumpkin seeds, 1/2 cup of them at least per day, because those are also wonderful for eliminating parasites, worms, whatever you might have. I've been using some almonds because I love almonds and I find that they sustain me so much. Some almond butter. I have been using ground chia and flax just to keep things moving. And then in addition to those things that I just mentioned, I've also, of course, I've been doing juices when I can, and also some vegetable broths, but I'm traveling still a little bit at times, so it's tricky. I'm doing the best I can. And in addition to those things I mentioned, I am having a little bit of raw cacao powder still some days when I just, like, if I have to go to work or something and I just need something. And then I've been having a little bit of berries, just because there's been some days where intuitively I felt like I needed a bit more than just like super, super low carb foods. Some berries, which are the lowest sugar fruit. And I've been having 1 or 2 days I've been really nauseous. So I've been having some cooked quinoa and a little bit of brown rice the one day. Also, lots of avocados. I've been eating tomatoes, carrots, all the vegetables. So hopefully that narrows it down a little bit for you. Now, that's just what I'm doing. That may not be what feels the best for you. A lot of other people just recommend that you eat tons and tons and tons of greens and vegetables and salmon and eggs and protein shakes and that kind of thing. So if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, that might be a good way for you to go as well. Now, that's what I'm doing for food. There's also been a few days where I've had no appetite at all, so I've been trying to just move as little as possible and just drink water. And I'm hoping that at some point I can do a few days where I, essentially fast, but I'm going to, again, just see how my body feels. But that's often the best way to get rid of them fast, if your body can take it and if you've properly prepared for that type of thing. So into the protocol now. What I'm doing is I'm waking up in the morning. I'm drinking half of a liter of water, making sure I get, hydrated with lemon and with a little bit of sea salt. Then I'm taking 1/2 tablespoon at the moment. I might increase this, but I'm going very slow, of this wonderful, foul, poison tasting brew. So what is this? Essentially, this is what I posted in the group in the picture, and I had you guys guess what it was I was up to. This is a mix of 3 things. Basically, what I did to make this is I took hot water, purified water on the stove, boiled it. I added 1/2 cup of fresh clove. So what that looks like, I don't know if you can see, is this. So it's just, this is raw clove. Has a nice smell. Smells like Christmas, kind of. So I've been taking a 1/2 cup of this, which is known to be a strong anti-parasitic. Taking a 1/2 cup, boiling it on the stove for 20 minutes. Then I measured the clove mix into a bottle this size, and I filled it up. So that was my clove part of my cleanse. Okay, so water, 1/2 cup cloves, boil on the stove, and then I took this much of that watery clove mix and filled this with it. So I had 1 tincture of clove. Then I took 1 bottle of black walnut. Just make sure I'm not forgetting anything that I did when I did this. Oh, yeah, no, it was 2 bottles of black walnut. Black walnut is, again, another strong anti-parasitic. And these herbs that I'm using are the main ones that are recommended for parasites. So 2 bottles of black walnut, 1 bottle of clove, and then I had 1 bottle of wormwood. This is the 3rd super famous anti-parasite herb. So I mixed those all together to make this. So this is 1 bottle of my clove brew, 2 bottles of black walnut, and 1 bottle of wormwood. That made this. From here, I've been then, after my water in the morning, taking 1/2 tablespoon, so just a small amount of this. Then I've been having a little bit more water, and then I've been having this. So this is the next thing I've been doing. So drinking my brew, it starts to work in the body. Then I've been taking 1 teaspoon of this stuff right here. This is called Diatomaceous Earth. Diatomaceous Earth is 98% silica. So it is wonderful for your hair, for your skin, for your nails, for your teeth, for your bones, for your collagen production. It's an amazing thing. So even if you aren't going to do a parasite cleanse, this might be something that you might want to consider adding to your diet. A lot of people swear by it for really helping with their connective tissues. And this, if you're going to take this is really important. You want to make sure you get one that is 100% food grade. It's toxic otherwise. It needs to be food grade, which means you can eat it like food, but don't take too much. 1 teaspoon of this is all I've been having. And again, I may slowly increase the amount of that, but you want to go slow because it is a very strong detoxifying agent. So when it comes to parasites, why is this stuff helpful? The other thing that Diatomaceous Earth does is it basically binds the toxins in your body and in your bloodstream. So when you start a cleanse, your body, your organs, are going to start dumping the toxins into your bloodstream. And if you don't get those toxins out, it could overwhelm your system and leave you really, really, really sick. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you always cleanse slowly, that you do your preparation. And then this can be very helpful. A lot of people use activated charcoal as well. So that might be another option, but essentially what this is a toxin binder. So it's going to help just my body to handle the cleansing process a little bit better. So I've been taking 1 teaspoon of this. It's very cakey, it's very dry. You mix it with a little bit of water. You won't be able to just take it dry off the spoon. Ew. Mix it with a little bit of water, drink it. It's very drying. So you want to drink more water after you take this. So after I take this, I've been drinking more water for about another hour. And then I've been having a little bit of, some breakfast. One breakfast that I've been having a lot, which has been good, is the pumpkin seeds, half cup of ground pumpkin seeds, ground. So yeah, pumpkin seeds ground, put them in a bowl. And I've been adding, something's happening with my computer here. I've been adding a little bit of almond milk, and a couple berries, and some chia seeds, that kind of thing. So making like a little bit of a porridge, which has been really soothing to my tummy. So I've been having that as like my first meal. And that kind of has kept me feeling quite full actually for a while. And then what was my next step? My next step is that I usually, what is it here? So that's actually it for the supplements for the first part of the day. And then I have lunch, and then I've been having dinner on the early side, especially because I've been more tired than normal. So once I've had dinner, what I've been doing is I've been taking 2 probiotic capsules with my dinner. And then I've been waiting at least 2 hours. And then after those 2 hours, what I've been doing is, again, I've been taking the brew. Okay, so I've been eating at around 6, I guess. And then I've been taking the brew at 8 p.m. And then after I've taken the brew, I've been waiting again until I go to bed, which has been about 10:30. And when before going to bed, I've been taking 1/2 teaspoon again, or 1 teaspoon again of this. Okay, so that was a lot. In the description box below, I will write that protocol out for you guys. But yeah, now I would recommend that you don't jump into this and do what I'm doing without, some advice or somebody to coach you, especially if you've never done a cleanse before, because this can be really intense. So the first thing to do, guys, is really just to make sure that this is something that, feels relevant for you. So make sure you have the symptoms, some of those symptoms happening, and then maybe follow up with a little bit of further testing. And then, if you want to, because it's good for everyone to do once a year anyway, you could give this a try, and you could even take, a little bit of less of the certain things that I mentioned if you wanted to, just to make it gentler on yourself. I also have a few other things here that I didn't just mention because I'm not taking them as like part of the main protocol, but which I'm also probably going to include as I go along. So one of them is this. It's called Triphylax, and it's basically an Ayurvedic laxative. So it has just these really gentle herbs, the main one being Triphyla, which you may have heard of, which help to keep things moving. The number one thing when you do any type of cleanse is, again, that you're eliminating the toxins. This is going to help absorb them, but you still got to get them out. And a lot of people, when they do cleanses, become constipated. So this I have on standby should I feel I need it, and I would just take 2, or if I really need it, 3 of them a night at nighttime, just to make sure that, that's not going to be a problem. I would take this just, around the same time as the Diatomaceous Earth. And the other things I have here are, this is called Digise, and it's basically a essential oil blend. It has ginger, it has peppermint, and mint. Oh, peppermint is mint. It's just showing the French version. Mentha. Yeah, peppermint and ginger. But it's a very concentrated essential oil. So this is made by what's called Young Living. And I actually have an account with them. I haven't actively been selling essential oils, but the more I use them, the more I'm falling in love with them. So if you are interested in perhaps getting essential oils like Digize, or I have all kinds of them here. I have frankincense, which I use in the morning after I'm finished my meditation. I have peppermint oil here, which I use, on my temples if I have a headache. I have lavender, which I just put into my palm and rub and sniff whenever I'm feeling stressed. So I love to use them as natural remedies for managing life. So if you're interested in those, let me know, and then maybe I'll feel inspired to really start, selling them for you guys. But I do have a way of making that available. I also have one of my best friends. She's very involved with this company, so I can arrange for you to get them through her too. And all this I'll put in the information box below. The other things I have here are, I have this. It's called GI Restore, and I haven't been taking this yet just because I feel like I'm taking so many things as it is. But this guy I'm planning to take after the cleanse. Oh, this is really important. So how long am I doing this for? Essentially, my plan is to do 2 weeks on, take 2 weeks off, do another 2 weeks, take 2 weeks off, another 2 weeks. The reason for this is because you want to make sure that you're taking these herbs at the moon's cycles time. So around the full moon, around the new moon. And if you do it like that, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, you'll hit all of the new moon, the full moon, everything in between. So this way, you're going to have the best chance of getting rid of these things because they hatch and lay eggs and breed and all that at different times, which usually syncs up with the moon. That's a way also to know if you might have this going on. If your symptoms get worse around the times of the moon, which that was happening for me, that also could be a parasite waking up and flourishing or whatever. So GI Restore, it's basically meant to relieve inflammation in the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract. It has slippery elm, which is super soothing. It has licorice, which is also like a carminative herb for the digestive system. It has zinc, which is really important for immune function, and L-glutamine, which helps to heal the lining of the gut. So I am planning to take this, a couple times a day. It's just a half teaspoon on the 2 weeks off of taking all this stuff. Okay, so during my 2 weeks off, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take probiotics and my other main supplements that I usually take, and that's about it. That was a lot. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something. I hope it's interesting to you. I hope maybe you do this, especially if you're suffering with symptoms that you can't explain. This could be what's going on. I encourage you to do some testing and or maybe look online for a parasite quiz. Take the quiz and see what the likelihood is that you have this. Again, it's really, really common, even if you don't want to admit it. And I know it's hard to think about. It's disgusting. I haven't seen anything come out of my body yet, and I don't have any kind of crazy parasite. I have something that's microscopic, apparently. So, I don't expect necessarily that I'll see them, but maybe I have a different one that I don't know about. Maybe I'll see that. So I'll keep you updated, because it would actually be as disgusting as it would be. It would also be kind of really cool, because if that thing was in your body, that ain't good. And you're going to feel a lot better by getting it out. So the potential is amazing for you to feel better. If this is going on, don't be discouraged. reach out to me if you want some extra help. If you would like me to be your parasite cleansing coach, I'm happy to help you. Whatever you need. If you aren't part of my group, please join my group. It's awesome. It's called Teshia's Group on Facebook. You can join the group and get lots of support there about parasite cleansing, about exercise, about weight loss or any other body goal that you might have, about hormones, about anything, about learning to love yourself. That's a big theme that I like to work with on, with you guys too. So anything that you are struggling with, that you're working on, that you would like some support with, join the group. In the group, you can post questions and I answer back within 24 hours always. So lots of support here for you. No need to be scared. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following and for your interest in learning from me and from everything I've learned. I've been on this 10-year exploration of health and nutrition, and I have honestly been obsessed. And as a result, I feel I have a lot to share. So I'm happy to have you to share with. Thanks, everybody. Have a great, great, great hump day.